Right now on SUTV News, $1 million to help improve drinking water for 15 million people. Two SHIP professors set out to make changes for 4 states.
And SHIP is named one of the top schools in the state for its vegan dishes. We take a closer look.
Else on SUTV News, I'm Lucy Davis.
And I'm Joe Rodriguez. Dining options can be tough for vegans when they are away from home. But Shippensburg veggies and tofu turns out to be one of the main competitors. Amanda Trevel has the story.
Over the last 4 years, Shippensburg Dining Services has been working hard to improve its vegan-friendly food, and the hard work has not gone unnoticed.
We actually had a special food committee made up of vegans and vegetarians, and we met for about a year and a half. We addressed their needs, and the students have been very happy since then.
A yearly ranking published by the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or commonly called PETA, praises SHIP's valuable entree, the Vietnamese tofu, and for offering at least one vegan entree at every meal.
What PETA does is every year they have a competition. It's nationwide, and it starts from all 3,000 colleges and universities in the United States, and they send out surveys, they question students, and based on the feedback they receive, they identify grades for every campus.
Shippensburg is among 1,100 other colleges to earn a grade A. Among small schools in the U.S., Shippensburg ranks high in the competition.
I think we have a very good chance of making it to the final round. Round 1 ended last night at 5 p.m. We're in the lead, so obviously we will have won round 1.
Our biggest competitor is Wesley University and their barbecue seitan. For SUTV, I'm Amanda Trevel.
The winning school will be announced April 6th. If you would like to vote, you can visit the website below. Round 2 starts Monday, February 23rd at 12 p.m. Click the tab that says Small U.S. Schools and vote for Shippensburg by registering your email.
Is going towards finding out what is going into the water. SHIP's Geography and Earth Sciences Department is using this grant to map the Delaware River Basin to find out what actually ends up in the water. The basin supplies the drinking water for 15 million people.
Our goals of the project are to look at land use within the Delaware River Basin because land use has a big impact on water quality. To see how land use is affecting water quality and how future land uses might affect water quality as we go into the future.
The Geography and Earth Sciences Department's research will help minimize negative impacts of land use and improve the drinking water the Delaware River Basin provides. And Student Senate makes lots of decisions about how to spend money, but in the last meeting, the most talked about topic was costs to students the senators have no control over. Nick Hollup has the recap.
The Senate gave DECA, an organization that educates students on how to succeed in the business world, $2,000 to cover the 2015 conference in Orlando, Florida. APB got $4,301 to pay for upcoming spring events and activities. The senators most intensely discussed the possible sizable tuition increase beginning in the 2015 fall semester. If this pilot program is approved by the Board of Governors, students taking more than 12 credits per semester can expect to see a 40% tuition increase. Proponents of the plan cite the increase as a way to make up for the loss of state funding without cutting classes or increasing class sizes. With this week's Student Senate highlights, I'm Nick Hollup of SUTV News.
And starting next week, we'll be doing the Senate recap the day of the meetings, so tune in next Thursday to stay updated. Coming up on SUTV News, an event on campus raises funds for students traveling overseas in a unique way.
And Andrew Robinson is in the studio with your World News Update. It's coming up next. From a White House summit to a crude oil train explosion in West Virginia, Andrew Robinson has the latest world news.
Thanks, Joe. 3 people, including the gunman, were killed Saturday after they opened fire in a Denmark cafe where people gathered for a free speech forum. The man suspected of the killing pledged allegiance to ISIS leader Abu Bakr. 2 suspects are in Danish police custody who linked them to the shooting. The White House hosts a 3-day summit this week on countering violent extremism. The summit isn't just focusing on ISIS, but more about attacking the root of radicalization after recent terror attacks in Western Europe, Australia, and Canada. A train carrying crude oil derailed earlier this week in West Virginia. The train exploded, causing more than 100 cars to derail. Crews rushed one person to the hospital for possible smoke inhalation. The flames destroyed one home. Officials say oil spilled into the river, but the amount is unknown. The train was traveling from North Dakota to Yorktown, Virginia. Scientists in Florida are calling it a remarkable new advance in the fight against HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Researchers at the Scripps Research Institute announced the creation of a drug candidate that is potent and universally effective. They also say the drug may help the body stop or neutralize HIV. Scientists say the drug blocks HIV in monkeys and may lead to human vaccination. Nestle is taking out artificial flavors and colors in its chocolates. Nestle says it's the first major candy maker to go all natural for its colors and flavors. The products affected include Crunch and Butterfinger bars. That's a wrap for your World News this week. Joe, back to you.
Room is back up and running after cold temperatures put a freeze on fun on Tuesday. A frozen sprinkler line broke and thawed out in the ceiling of the stairwell between the second and third floor of the Cub near Orndorff Theater. The water flooded the front of the theater and then cascaded down into McFeely's. University staff responded immediately, identified the problem, and started the cleanup. By late afternoon, the damage was repaired and the mess cleaned up, but McFeely's didn't open up until last few hours later. It was returned to serve yesterday afternoon. Crews have taken measures to prevent another problem as temperatures are expected to remain frigid.
Food, fun, and dancing brought members of the campus together for a good cause. Chris Ritter has the story.
The university's French Club hosted the 4th annual Mardi Gras Ball on Tuesday.
We decided that it would be a great opportunity for the students to have fun and at the same time to learn some cultural events about some cultural events around the French-speaking world.
The festivities served an important purpose, too.
We started being involved in Haiti in the building of a dispensary, and we transformed this event into a fundraiser.
Professor Jose Ricardo led the partygoers in group dancing.
Well, I hope that, again, we continue to do this, that we continue to embrace otherness, to embrace other cultures, to learn about our neighbors.
At the end of the evening, Elder Jean-Baptiste was crowned the King of Mardi Gras.
Oh, well, I was the best dancer tonight, and I showed a lot of energy, so that's how I got to win King.
And Kevin Griffin and Angela Sime won the award for Best Masks.
So we're rather happy because the students came, they learned something, they contributed to a good cause, and they had a lot of fun. So I think that it's a success all around, and we're very happy with this evening.
Now that the festivities are over, it's back to cold weather and classes. For SUTV News, I'm Chris Ritter.
Cecil E. Howard, J.D., has been named Executive Director of Social Equity. Howard earned his law degree from Texas Southern University's Thurgood Marshall School of Law. He has served as Equal Opportunity Director and Chief Diversity Officer for the City of Gainesville in Florida and as Chief Legal Counselor for the Florida Commission on Human Relations. Pretty accomplished man, if I do say so myself. But next week, we will take a closer look into the position of the Social Equity Director and who benefits the most from this office. Stay tuned. But still to come on SUTV News tonight, get the lowdown on the record low temps.
And find out where all the Act 5 costumes go after the curtain closes. Don't go away. In the Slate, Ship Life is highlighting some resources that the Career Center offers. Also, if you aren't hungry now, you will be after check out the lemon chicken. It's in the recipe of the week. Check out arts and entertainment. I bet you won't miss them. But if you do, we'll have an Oscars review.
In the news, the French and Creole Club traveled to Haiti. See what they did to get there, and that's it for the Slate this week, so look for the next issue on Tuesday, or you can get a jump start and head to theslateonline.com for daily updates. Now let's send it over to Jake for some weather. Hey, Jake.
Thanks, guys. Obviously, it has been very cold, but there have been record lows in cities across the Midwest and Northeast, with temperatures as low as they have been since 1994. This freezing blast is coming from a mass of cold air originating in Siberia. Those tundra-like temperatures made their way across the Pacific and down through Canada into the Midwest and Northeastern United States. This cold air mass, along with the remnants of Winter Storm Octavia, explain the frigid temperatures, and more are on the way. We have an overnight low of -4 tonight, and tomorrow does not look much better. Friday's forecast has a high of just 16 degrees and a low of 5. Taking a look at the 5-day, Saturday has an 80% chance of snow with a high of 31. Good news for Sunday is a high of 38 degrees, but the bad news is the low is still only 17. Monday's high is back down to 18 with an overnight low of just 4 degrees. Finally, Tuesday will have a high of 29 and a low of 19 degrees. That's it for weather this week, but it looks like Alexis Hilliard has some rain in the entertainment forecast.
That's right, Jake, but I don't think this news will rain on anyone's parade. Beatles fans got as close as they ever will to seeing the famed band perform live last night when the cover band Rain came to the Lohr Center. Ian Fitzgerald has the review.
It takes a large fan base and much success to have an official cover band made in your honor. The Beatles cover band Rain let people live and relive being a part of a live Beatles show. The Paul, John, Ringo, and George impersonators took the audience back to the 1960s by covering hits note for note by the famed Liverpool band. The audience enjoyed video of actual Beatles performances and fan reactions. From spot-on voice impersonations and small body movements, to the untrained eye, it would have seemed as if the legendary band had come back for one last show. With Rain's help, the Beatles will live on for generations. From SUTV News, I'm Ian Fitzgerald.
Again. The play focuses on female empowerment and women's issues. The Women's Center sponsors the award-winning play each year to raise awareness for violence against women. The play also inspires women to celebrate themselves. 90% of the proceeds go to WYCA, Sexual Assault and Rape Crisis Service of Cumberland County. The Vagina Monologue starts tonight in the Memorial Auditorium and will run up until February 21st. The student theater group Act 5 has had to move all of its costumes and props to the Hoffman Mills. Dylan Horrocks has more.
Get a look now because soon Noggle Hall will be no more. It's being demolished. Good for students looking for new dorms, but inconvenient for Act 5 and its costume storage.
Seeing Noggle empty, just a really surreal experience. We got word that from the movie crew that the job had been completed, the movie had been completed, so going down there to check it out, it's just, I'm so used to, you can't see the floor, there's stuff all over these shelves, you don't know what half of it is, and you go down there and some of the shelving is missing and it's just empty, and I just think about how for 10 years it's belonged to Act 5 and now it's all gone. So anybody that knows it, they see pictures of it and it's just totally surreal.
Hundreds of items have been transferred to the club's area of the mills, dubbed Noggle 2.0. The assigned space is considerably smaller than the space of Noggle, but Act 5 has big plans for it.
So this is our storage space for Act 5 Productions, and what we're trying to accomplish with this is making it more organized in hopes that one day people can come to us and rent costumes and props, and the possibility of us building if we would need it.
We're hoping to get in there and catalog all of our props and costumes. We actually, at one point in the past, had everything cataloged. We had a nice spreadsheet posted on the door. Other theater companies would contact Act 5 and then they would rent from Act 5 so we could keep track of every single thing that they had. So we're hoping to go through and actually make an itemized list of every costume that we have, every piece of prop that we have, furniture, whatnot, so that way when we're going to pull stuff out, we have a database that we can go and look up. So that's something we're hoping to get done this year.
Act 5 will begin organizing the costumes and props when they get shelves installed in the mills. For SUTV, this is Dylan Horrocks.
If you are interested in helping to organize the mills or want to discuss costume or prop rentals, you can contact Act 5 at act5productions@ship.edu. To celebrate the SNL 40th anniversary, NBC aired a special episode of SNL on Sunday, February 15th. The show featured skits from past 40 years, as well as performances from old musical guests from Paul McCartney and Kanye West. SNL alums Mike Myers and Dana Carvey reprised their famous Wayne's World skit, and Steve Martin did his King Tut character. SNL keeps the laughs coming February 26th with host Dakota Johnson and musical guest Alabama Shakes. Well, that is it for tonight in entertainment. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alexis. Now, track is at it again. Find out what records they broke this weekend.
And wrestling ended its regular season on a high note. Luis DeSanto tells us what's next for the team.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Luis DeSanto with SUTV Sports. SHIP walked away from its final regular season wrestling match on Monday with a mark in the win column. Jake Gillespie has the highlights.
Coming in at 6-13, the Raiders needed a win to finish off the regular season on a high note. SHIP got off to a poor start after LIU's Joe Calderon won a convincing 7-2 contest at 133 pounds. Jesse Meany from Post dug the hole even deeper with a pin at 141 pounds. SHIP's Cameron Throckmorton responded with a pin in just over a minute of action at 149 pounds to turn the tide. Mike Springer and Brett Pastore quickly followed suit with solid victories at 157 and 174 pounds respectively to give SHIP the lead. But after two straight losses at 184 and 197 pounds, the match was tied up headed into the last match. SHIP heavyweight Francis Slover came up big with two impressive takedowns to take victory in both his bout and the match for SHIP. SHIP finished with a regular season record of 7-13 and heads to the Super Region 1 Championships at West Liberty University. Jake Gillespie, SUTV News.
The wrestling team will have wrestle-offs in the next weeks before heading to the championships. SHIP played Kutztown on Saturday. Tyler Baldwin has the highlights.
The Raiders hosted the Golden Rams of Kutztown on Saturday in the annual Play for K event. We pick things up in the second half. The Raiders down 4. Morgan Griffith finds Colleen Young in the corner, who drives in, gets the and one, pulling Shippensburg within 1 point, 38-37.
Showing why she may be one of the...
Shippensburg still down 1 as Colleen Young drives again, dribbling, not finding anything, eventually passing to Logan Snyder, who sees the open lane, goes for the shot, misses, but it's Steph Nauer with the rebound and the foul. She would get 2 foul shots and a chance to give Shippensburg the lead. Nauer making the first shot. Second shot will be off. But there to get the rebound is Morgan Griffith. Finally, the ball getting to Lauren Gold, who drives in. Can't get the shot, but will get 2 free throws. Gold would make both of her free throws, giving Shippensburg a 68-66 lead. The Golden Rams' last opportunity comes with Natalia Lee. The Golden Rams would end up falling to the Raiders 68-66. Shippensburg clinches that home playoff game. Now we take it to the men's side, where the Raiders would face a second-ranked PSAC East Golden Rams team. Justin MacArthur with the ball, finding Dylan Edgar, who would hit the hook shot, taking the Raiders on an 8-0 run. Edgar would finish with 16 points. Abe Masoli all over the place on defense, eventually coming up with the steal. Only one man to beat in the backcourt. He would get a blocking foul. Masoli would hit both of his free throws. Abe Masoli bringing the ball up the court, passes off to MacArthur, who looks inside to the big man Dylan Edgar, who tries to find Masoli. The pass will be intercepted, eventually landing in the hands of the Golden Rams, who would end the game on a 22-9 scoring drought and beat the Raiders 61-57. For SUTV News, I'm Tyler Baldwin.
SHIP takes to the court again Wednesday night. Stay tuned for our live coverage. SHIP's indoor track and field team made a name for themselves last weekend at the Boston University Valentine Invitational. The men's 4x4 relay team with Eric Beloga, Andrew Kujawski, Tim Usher, and Robert Bales broke the record by running a 3-point and 12.52 second time. This breaks Lock Haven's previous record by 2 seconds. On the women's side, the 4x4 team of Bree Fells, Kiana Tucker, Lindsay Sheehan, and Megan Lundy ran a 3-minute and 50.75 second time, breaking the previous record held by Ship. Red Raider football made a couple of changes in the offseason. J.C. Morgan has been named the new offensive coordinator. Morgan has been Shippensburg's running back coach for the past 10 years, as well as recruiting coordinator, academic coordinator, and video coordinator. Jeff Tomasetti has been named quarterbacks and wide receivers coach for the Red Raiders. Tomasetti replaces Coach Joe Davis, who resigned from Ship for a position at the University of Northern Iowa. Tomasetti played for the Red Raiders in 2008 to 2012 as a quarterback, and this is his third year as assistant coach. Shippensburg outstanding sophomore catcher Jake Kennedy got the National Collegiate Writers Association Division II National Hitter of the Week award for his ridiculous play over Shippensburg's last 5 games. Jake went 8 for 16 over the last 2 weeks, hitting 5 home runs, a triple, and smashing in 10 RBIs. He scored in every one of those games, too. Jake says being a catcher automatically puts him into the leadership role.
Yeah, since I'm a catcher, I just try to play the biggest role I can when I'm on the field and just have my teammates always on my back.
He also has drawn 6 walks this season, which helped boost his on-base percentage to .636. He only had 9 walks in 35 games last season. The pool might seem like an unlikely place to go with temperatures near zero, but for some Ship athletes, winter is the time for swimming.
The pool might seem an unlikely place to go with the temperatures near zero, but for some Ship athletes, winter is the time for swimming. Shippensburg University's swim teams are heading to York for the PSAC Championship. 18 men and 16 women earned spots at this year's PSAC meet.
You know, we're excited with the talent levels that we're taking over there, so we're excited for it. It's kind of the culminating event.
Coach Tim Verge says training is more about quality than quantity, but the teams put in a lot of time too.
Well, our practice schedule is such that we basically go 3 mornings a week, about 6 to 7:30 with strength work we do in the mornings, and then we swim in the afternoons for 2 hours.
Add an hour or 2 on Saturdays. And it's a long season, practicing from just after Labor Day in September through the end of February. But these athletes say it's about more than competition.
Knowing what it means to work hard and what it gets you, I think will really help me through my life.
You develop time management skills and everything like that. It really helps you out along the way.
It's also about connecting.
When I first came here, I didn't know anyone. And when I came to the swim team, I was immediately accepted as a friend. Maybe some people maybe considered me family.
I feel like the team aspect is a huge thing for me because they're kind of like my family, and that helps a lot.
For Robertson, Bushman, and Yo, the PSAC championship will be bittersweet. They graduate this year, making this their last college competition. For SUTV Sports, I'm Chris Ritter.
The championship events are being held at the Graham Aquatic Center in York this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's all for this week in SUTV Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Lewis, well, Joe, as I'm sure you know, Valentine's Day was Friday. So did you do anything special to show the people you care about some love? Because I'm still waiting, so.
I think my Valentine's Day to you got lost in the mail.
Sure. Well, fine. But this Valentine's Day, a family in Santa Barbara was shown some extra love. Take a look.
The family was surprised when a sea lion pup decided to join in on the fun and spend over an hour relaxing on the back of their kayaks.
Aw, it's adorable. I mean, but Joe, even sea lions took the time to show some extra love on Valentine's Day. Just saying.
Well, anyways, that's all the time that we have here for you at SUTV. I'm Joe Rodriguez.
And I'm Lucy Davis. Stay in the know by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter and Instagram at SUTV News.
And for more stories and information about anything you saw tonight, check our website at sutvnews.com.
Thank you and have a great night.